All right, people, buckle up because we're about to dive into one of the most outrageous controversies to hit the fashion world, and it's about the biggest streetwear brand in the world, Supreme. For those who don't know, they got sold a couple of years back for $1 billion. That's big fucking money. And they hired Tremaine Emory, a legend in the fashion world, to be their creative director, a black designer. Tremaine was fired this week, and he is claiming systemic racism for the firing. There's a lot more to this story, so before we get into it, and before I get canceled, we haven't even started yet. I'm just going to say right off the bat that please, Joe Rogan, don't take this clip out of context. No, I am not supporting rewriting the public school education around slavery, all right? Now, I always knew Supreme was hipster trash and a sign of poor taste. There was never a fucking finger licking fucking bone in my frail ass body that ever told me to put a Supreme logo bumper sticker on my Toyota Prius or to have a neon sign that showed girls, to leave my house if I ever did get them actually over my fucking place. Supreme has and will continue to be dog shit. I'm just here to call out the dumb shit stupidity of the high fashion world and have some fucking fun at some jackass who had this mind-boggling t-shirt idea, no regard for the repercussions it would cause to a reputable brand like Supreme, and then cried racism to defend himself from getting fired for this dumb shit. Meanwhile, he's working for a company he doesn't fucking own. All right. So, Tremaine Emory, you got fired. And you really thought it was cool to play the race card to get out of being an annoying prick. And on top of that, you wanted to portray lynching, the most awful visual representation of slavery, and sell it back to corporate America, and thought that that was a bold statement. Nah, man, we can't ride with that. This is not how you spark conversation and reignite the civil rights movement. So you think getting fired by the biggest streetwear brand in the world that sells $100 t-shirts to rich ass hype beasts is the equivalent to being now the symbol for systemic racism? These fucking people need to get the fuck out of their high fashion ass art world ass latte sipping fucking bubbles, dog. Please. So all right. So let's get into it. Like, there's a lot here to unpack, folks. There is a fucking lot. But what in the actual hell was he thinking? So, this is a sick joke. This is straight up fucking insanity. This goes beyond controversy. It's straight up insanity. It's just insane people who went to liberal arts colleges, who have art degrees, and think that because they understand the difference in their mind between what is a statement and what is cultural fucking appropriation, they can twist and bend the rules, because that's what fashion is all fucking about. It's about twisting and bending rules and doing daring bullshit. Well, we saw how Kanye's White Lives Matter stunt fucking played out for him, didn't it? So, let's be serious though. There's heat coming from all angles. There's so much chaos on either side. You've got tribalism. You've got complex news. You've got Supreme, the biggest fashion brand in the world. And so let's just start from square one. So basically, there's an artist named Arthur Jaffa, I believe. So yeah, so he's famous. He's big. He is known. So here you go. This is what we're talking about, folks. All right. So you have Tremaine Emory, who thought that this was a great thing to put on a fucking shirt and sell to white suburban hipsters. And what he didn't fucking realize is how out of context this would be understood by the mainstream media, by the white kids who buy Supreme, by the StockX. Now, I consider myself to be somewhat of a fan of streetwear. I think I get it enough, not to the extent where I'm losing my brain like fucking Tremaine Emory, but I kind of get like where these ideas come from. Like, they're not terrible ideas at their root. So like, I get where Tremaine Emory wanted to make a statement, and I get that he probably in his mind thought that this was gonna be well received and stir controversy, because streetwear is always about stirring controversy, and fashion in general is, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. We push the culture when we stir the fucking pot and get people to think a little bit, you know. But I just don't see, and I think there's more to the story than we know. So you have Tremaine Emory basically saying that he resigned from Supreme, the largest multi-billion-dollar fashion brand in the world, because of systemic racism. So that was initially what came out about this. He said that Supreme was a bunch of racist pricks, and that's why that he got fired because of that. And if we don't understand that, then we're racist pricks too, right? So to get back on track though, basically a lot has come out since then, right? So the Supreme team wanted to do a collaboration with this guy Jaffa. He's actually really cool artist. I think he's super talented. I've looked up some of his stuff. Wasn't familiar with him before all of this, but James Jabia. Now, this is interesting, folks. Tell me Supreme isn't fucking racist when this is the founder. That's the founder. White guy. So, anyways, to get back to the main point, that was a joke. Don't worry. What I think is going on here is a lot of confusion around how we may basically. I think Tremaine Emory is pulling the race card just for being a piece of shit, basically, like a difficult guy to work with. And he put out this statement, and I think it's sort of like almost like Kanye-ish, where you're taking basically making shitty business deals like with Adidas or whatever, you know, and going full nuclear when you should probably just keep your mouth shut. The civil rights movement is a important, sacred moment in history where a lot was accomplished, and the current state of racial politics remains extremely divided and upsetting. So when Tremaine Emory decides that He's now at the helm of Supreme. He's the creative director. He doesn't own the brand. He didn't found it. This is a brand that took decades to build. They have towed a fine line of controversy. Some of their most famous works are things with, uh, you know, Nas and Andre 3000. This is a brand built on hip hop and black culture. So to say it isn't would be a disservice. But to take that notion and then sell t-shirts with uh, a lynched individual, that's just fucking insanity. And there's a side of the internet that is rushing to his defense and calling Supreme a racist brand. You know, they're the, you know, I just think that is rushing to some extreme conclusions. Like, so if you think back, like there's long been uh you know a strong history of doing provocative, racially charged statements in high fashion, and a lot of times they've been impactful. Now, what these people don't fucking get is that the high fashion world is not the fucking real world, and these fucking morons think that the in their world think that it is creating all of society's culture. They think that they run everything, that they're the Illuminati of all of culture. I kid you not, that is 100% what goes on through their brains day to day. Everything they do changes the world. Fashion is a reflection of everything that affects the zeitgeist. They think that runway shows create the social conversation. And there was okay, look, in 2019 you have Virgil did look, pull it up. So it's called Diversity, Inclusivity, and Hope. So let's do it. Yeah. Dude, I should really probably not even be doing this conversation. It's all good though. Look, like if I as a white guy didn't speak about this, obviously from a perspective of being an ally to this situation, you lose the nuance in the whole thing. And I think that's what Tremaine Emory was trying to accomplish by blasting out the dog whistling, sensationalism of saying that Supreme was a what did he say, systemically racist company, which like is kind of absurd on its face value, just because of the fact that Supreme is beloved by like a diverse, racially diverse spectrum of individuals, a beautiful rainbow of individuals like Supreme. Now, I don't fall in that category, but I know the impact Supreme has had on the world. So then here we go. So you have Virgil Abloh in 2019 did a show called Color Theory. Now, I don't think he put any people who were being lynched on the runway. But boy, would that have been a different show. So celebrating racial diversity was one of the key elements of Abloh's show, in which a color-coded map displayed the ethnic origins of each of the models and their parents. Wow, that's cute. Dude, these guys really have lost it. Now, just to put it in perspective, it'd be like if I was running Supreme and their creative director and I worked for my boss and I said, I want to put a Jewish guy in a gas chamber on a t-shirt and put a Supreme logo, and yeah, we're gonna resell, we're gonna get people to buy this shit, man. This is brilliant, this is a great fucking idea. No, dude, it's gonna start the conversation, dude. It's gonna fucking get people talking, dude. And then I called them all anti-Semites for not letting me do that. I think that's essentially what happened. So, okay, wow, he really, this guy's great. So the Tuesday after I resigned, James Jabia pulled up to my crib. We talked about why I resigned. The head of HR was there, and a woman from BF. Oh, that's the company that owns them, I think, was listening in on Zoom. Blah blah blah. You should have talked about canceling images from the Jaffa collab. One of the few black employees. Didn't think that we should be putting out this collab because of the depiction of black men being hung in the freed slave Gordon pictured with his whiplashes on his back. No shit. James agreed there should have been discourse about the project, with me being that I was the creative director and I'm black. Supreme's statement is a lie to hide the systemic racism that lies deep within Supreme and almost all white-owned corporations. I wanted to work with Supreme to change these things, and instead I was told I was racially charged, emotional, and using the wrong forum to bring up systemic racism. No fucking shit, dude. Like, you are using someone else's brand, yeah, to portray. Like, I think they were cool with the whole notion of working with this artist Jaffa, who's definitely, you know, like, it's about, like, there's some controversial shit in there, but I don't think the freed slave with whiplashes on his back was exactly the thing Supreme wanted to ride their entire brand on and see, oh, hey, let's do this daring fucking statement, you know, that definitely won't have any potential misunderstandings or get us canceled by the fucking media. Dude, these guys are fucking idiots, man. They're idiots. They're so stupid. And by these guys, I mean creative directors. They really are. All creative directors are like this. And you even had a black employee saying he didn't want this shit out. And so I guess Tremaine then got a little, he got mad. Oh, Tremaine, you got mad because they didn't want to put out your slavery shirt. Oh, Tremaine, I'm so sorry that they did that to you. That sounds awful. Sounds like they're the racists. Sounds like the culture are the racists. Sounds like society are the racists. It sounds like the racists are in your head, honestly, dude. It sounds like the racists are talking to you a lot, and they're kind of telling you, you know, to kill your, to self-sabotage. The racists are telling you to quit your job, dude, to lose everything you have going for you. The racists are the racists. I mean, the racists are everywhere. They hide in the street corners. They hide in the shopping malls. The racists are running Virgil's estate. The racists are behind every corner. Look, if you compare and contrast this with like plus size fashion, right? That angers a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people who don't want to look at larger women in runway shows, or don't want to look at larger women in Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions, like Jordan Peterson, like most of the conservative media. They think that that liberal politics have gone too far, that we're going way to the extreme to defend inclusion, and I think that plus size fashion is great. I mean, it's a body type, right? And fashion and clothing is worn by every body type. I don't think that lynching is comparable to the notion of plus size fashion and inclusion. Um, and it's not a form of appropriate self-expression to put on a t-shirt. So sorry, I really want this guy up on the screen the whole time. But you know, so they parted ways. All right, you lost your job. I think you should go start a brand though, and put these shirts out yourself and see how it goes. See what kind of discussion starts around this. See if it pushes the needle of the culture, man, right in the right direction. Let's see if we get the people talking. This was not the cross to die on, dude, and I said that intentionally. Yeah, this was not the cross to put your entire career on, my guy. um you know you wanted to do a statement that you yourself, as the creative director, thought you had perfectly formulated in your mind, that you know uh that this lynching thing was brilliant, that it was gonna get the liberal media and the right-wing media talking, that white suburban kids wouldn't fucking know what hit them when they saw that lookbook come out, dude. Holy shit. Complex news headlines. Well, you got it, dude. And I think you're starting to see it, aren't you? Like, you're starting to see the the racists in your head show you kind of some of the racists in your head are really talking now, aren't they? um just looks fucking psychotic. I'm not gonna lie, like, he really does. This guy looks like a fucking lunatic. Like, this guy looks like the kind of guy who talks about like Japanese sculptures as if they have had tea with him. I think he talks about uh Balenciaga's runway show with the mud as if it expanded the consciousness of cultural consumerism and materialism. That Balenciaga doing all black was, and gimp suits, was a a testament to the way that uh BDSM needs more awareness. Uh and so anyway, so there's actually people now starting to go the opposite direction and say that he's a fucking moron, which is cool. And I'm glad that the internet seems to uh figure it out. So all right, let's go through these. But um so there was a meme: news of the alleged images that were fucking car, dude. News of the alleged images that were going to be used circulated online. One of the most used conversation starters was a tweet that read, "Without downloading any new pics, what's on the t-shirt of your Supreme collab?" Various images were used, including the House and Senate Democrats kneeling. Oh, that's funny, dude. I remember this. Without downloading any new pics, what's on the t-shirt of your Supreme collab? Blacks rule. It's a white guy. I think people are starting to get the absurdity of this. Other people called out Emory for posting the controversial book White Fragile. I don't know anything about this book, but I saw he posted it in his IG stories, which he said he did to spread awareness of systemic racism and how it affects people of all color. Then you have this guy, I don't know, just some random guy, but he just says Tremaine Emory endorsing this dog shit white fragility book that aims to forever victimize black people and reduces complex corporate interactions to binary race issues just because Supreme canceled a collab he was working on is very disappointing. SMH. Yeah, dude. Oh my God, that's the part of it. That is literally the best part of it. It's like his personal I guess he thinks he's a vessel to the media, man. He's a vessel to the culture, dog. He's a megaphone to your mind, dude. I guarantee you that is something he said. But so this guy is saying that reducing complex corporate interactions to binary race issues just because they canceled his collab. Like, oh, they canceled your collab you wanted, and then now you don't get to put the lynching on the t-shirt, and that's racist. That's racist. They're all out to get me. The racist voices in my head want to kill me. Kill you. Kill society. The racist voices control society. And so to take the straw man, right? Like, I guess, well, what, I don't even know. Like, there's just so many misconceptions around the controversy. Like, you can't on one hand be a race warrior and then diminish the power of what you're trying to accomplish in the statement you're trying to make just because you got fired, just because they didn't want to put this on a shirt. I don't want to wear that shirt, and I don't think anyone would want to wear that shirt, and I don't think it even makes a good statement. It doesn't. The whole point of Supreme is to, unfortunately, Supreme is an appropriation brand. I mean, they just take other things and objects and they put a fucking Supreme little red bumper sticker on the fucking thing. That's all they fucking do. So there's a lot of anger on both sides. People, mad at Supreme, I guess, but anyways, Tremaine Emory thinking it's radical to just sell clothes depicting lynched black men and ex-slaves with scourged blacks to white skaters via a billion-dollar fashion brand. I'm sure Supreme is anti-black as the rest of the fashion industry, but maybe he should assess his own anti-blackness. Kind of reaching there, dude, Connor, but not bad. I mean, here I am, the white guy, just trying to push the black guy down and wasting all this energy just to make a statement. So Supreme is a streetwear brand that is primarily consumed by white boys. Why do you want to sell t-shirts of slaves to that demographic? Dude, exactly. is it's not a consumerist. This should be the most sacred thing in the world. To put a person being lynched is not the image to fucking like people got hosed and like and lynched and burned on crosses, and this is not statement art. It's not stunt art. It's people are fucking idiots, dude, in the media, in the fashion world, they just are so out of touch with where reality starts and ends. And you know, uh so it's clear that this debate is far from fucking over. I think that's the the craziest part about it all. Is like it doesn't seem like there's more I think gonna come out. Like he's already kind of come out with more stuff, like he has this and that, and like let's see what his last post was. So can we even see it? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about this shit. I think brace yourselves for more of a storm on the left and the right. Supreme is the biggest fashion brand in the world, so yes, it justifies conversation and discourse around it. Um, and you know what it comes down to is this is such a nuanced situation where he has thrown in the racial charged you know uh fuel behind this debate, and all I can say is that I, I think this guy needs mental health help. I think the whole art world does, as a matter of fact. I think it's a fucking bunch of lunatics who think that they're changing the culture, and for some reason rich people buy into it. But the creative directors as a whole are kind of a stupid, shitty profession without much impact on the greater world. But getting fired by the whitest streetwear company in the world is not exactly I mean, God, he was so close. He could have had this collab. He just couldn't do the not lynching thing that even your other black employee didn't want. And going back to the the plus size models comparison, that's a really good example. The whole fashion world is a pretty diverse for the most part, especially when it comes to LGBTQ individuals who work within the fashion industry. Um, the fashion world was very much has always been an employer of LGBTQ individuals. Um, you know, there's been a big push to do disability inclusive fashion. Obviously, plus size fashion. You have runway shows with indigenous models. You know, these are things that arguably none of it is that important in the greater world. Like this is uh, white noise basically, but white noise. But it is good to use that as a comparison because those are things that actually seem to make a difference in some way. Target doing the Pride collection, and then not really taking it off their shelves and keeping it up despite the backlash. Uh, these are things that actually do something for society. Target did not put on the the Pride collab a you know post-op genitalia black and white image of you know a individual had received transition surgery, that would have made a statement. But I don't think people wanted to buy that image as a way to support their ally and identity inclusion fashion. So the mad world that we fucking live in. That's all I gotta say. And if next time you're in the Supreme shop, the ask where the Jaffa collab is. But we can't stay silent in the face of such blatant disrespect and misuse of a platform, and it's important to see through the noise, through the shouting in the media, and it's easy to see the headline that says Tremaine Emory was fired due to systemic racism and think that Supreme might be a racist brand, and I don't even think that's close to the truth. Like, I think this is a brand that was built off of decades of hip hop. I don't think that the hip hop world, um, just because James Jaffa is white, I don't think that just because it's white owned that these people are racist, and I don't think that um, just because Rick Rubin is white and he is a pioneer of hip hop that he's no less impactful than Russell Simmons. And so these are all super important to see, through the fat, cut through the headlines, and don't misuse your voice. Don't misuse your voice, Emery. Like, you have an opportunity, and you had an opportunity you know to push the needle a little bit with Supreme, and you did, it seems like, but you push it, well, you let the racist voices in your head tell you to you know call your boss a racist, and that's just, it doesn't work in the real world, dude. Like, I get it, you're the creative director, you want to make statements, but I can't go call my boss a racist and say because he wants to fire me because I don't want to put in my PowerPoint, uh if there's a marketing campaign about uh you know green energy, I can't put an atomic bomb on the fucking cover of the PowerPoint and say, this is what will happen to the world if we don't adopt it, and think that I can get away with it, especially if my boss doesn't think it's good for his brand, who he built over 20 years of work, dude. The Supreme's been around for a very long time, and they grew the streetwear industry as a whole to this new height of being worth billions of dollars, and it's fascinating that they did it. I personally don't like the clothing, but in conclusion, my friends, be an ally, be a good ally. Know when uh uh don't just put your Ukraine bumper sticker on. Don't just wear rainbow clothes, for a couple days. Don't just put a black square on your Instagram profile. It's really good to see the nuance in this stuff, and know that this is where misinformation can take hold, and that conversations about race are important, and sometimes both sides can be wrong. Maybe Supreme fucked up. Maybe and so did Tremaine. Maybe we just don't know the full truth. But I think it's good to support brands that prioritize inclusivity and cultural sensitivity. I don't think that's something we should stop doing. And you know, let's do it, baby. Let's get it going, dog. All right. Love you. Stay loving, stay healthy, love each other. And when shit gets rough, just remember that, you know, we do have a long history of oppression, and genocide and a shitty past in America, but that is not the object of your consumerism. And read a book, pull up Wikipedia, but let's not try to sell it to white suburban kids. All right, teach them.